And he wonders if the incident will make Maple fear humans. Luckily this isn't the case, as she has taken a liking to Bagar. Bagar is a father after all, so it's no surprise Pat Peck calls on Toomey and some of his potions. Just then the wonders if he would be willing to sell. Carriage comes to a halt and the guys wonder if a monster has appeared. Takumi is horrified when he sees a large group of goblins, but the guys tell him not to worry. Paddock also tries to assure him that it's no big deal, but he is terrified. The guys then show their expertise as they make quick work of the goblins. Some of the goblins even try to attack the carriage. Barrel takes them out after taking the magic stones from the beasts. The rest of their trip was peaceful. 3 days later they arrive at the city. Kumi went to the Adventurers Guild with Lion's Fang, who were going to report the success of their escort quest. Kumi also needed to register with the guild in order to stay in the city and to register Maple as a pet. Takumi was hoping to register with an alchemist guild, but the city doesn't have one. Hans, the receptionist, explains however that it's still helpful to register at the Adventurers Guild so he can use his guild card as identification as long as he takes just one simple quest every month. The card won't expire. In the end Takumi decided to register with the Adventurers Guild and he registered Maple as his pet. Later Kumi explains to Papik that he has 100 potions. Papik offers him 10 silver for each healing and stamina potion and 50 silver for each Mona potion. That's a whole ton of money for our boy because it translates to about 7 million yen in his old world. Oddly, Pick even apologizes for offering so little and explains that he's only doing so because Kumi hasn't made a name for himself yet. This is all too good to be true, so Kumi wonders if the trader has an ulterior motive, but Pepik doesn't seem like the type to deceive others. Just then Pepik changes the subject to ask Toomey about his living situation. He knows that Takumi plans to set himself up as a producer, so Peck recommends that he find a home with a workshop. Kumi doesn't have enough saved up to buy a house, but PC reveals that if he's willing to rent then his company can recommend a place. Things are moving too fast for Takumi, but Paddock has already called for someone to show him the house for rent. Takumi is stunned to see that the place is a mansion and he is told that the rent is 1 gold and 50 silver a month. That's much lower than Takumi expected, so he wonders if the place is haunted. Takumi would be able to afford the rent with the money from selling his potions to Papik, and the place even has a shed for his workshop. Kumi tells Maple that this will be their new home and he agrees to rent the giant place. As they walk through the city, Kumi can't help but wonder about the strange stench that he has smelled since arriving. He is told that it's coming from the sewers. The nobles use magical purifying devices to treat the sewage from their mansion, but the rest of the city doesn't. Magic purifying devices have to be excavated from dungeons or ancient ruins, so they are expensive. The city can't afford it, and Kumi can't believe that they don't purify the sewers at all. He is told that priests are hired to purify them periodically, but they just have to bear it for the most part. The next day Kumi and Maple move into their new home. Our thoughtful hero already had plans to repair the city's outer walls, but they will have to wait as he has something more important to work about, something that could mean life or death. After mixing some clay with some quartz, Takumi uses magic to shape something he is working on. He then uses some fire magic to heat the thing and adjust the temperature. He then uses space-time magic to shorten the time it needs to bake. It's a difficult process, and Takumi must even stabilize his project using alchemy. All his efforts result in just what he wanted, and he levels up several skills along with his alchemist job. Afterward Takumi is all tired out, but it was all worth it. It turns out that his life and death project was actually to make a toilet. Just then Takumi hears a terrifying scream and he's shocked to find that Maple has captured an intruder. It turns out to be Papik, but Maple says that she was just entertaining him. Takumi says that only children would be entertained by this, but Pick surprisingly finds his capture very soothing. After being set free, Papik asks to use the restroom. Pick is stunned by what he finds, and Kumi has to explain what a toilet is. That isn't all, as the alchemist also attached the magical device to it. After finishing business, the toilet uses purification to break the waste down into clean water and a small amount of inorganic material. This makes Papik wonder if Kumi has an aptitude for light magic, but our boy remembers what Martha said. He has to keep it a secret, so he begs Pick not to tell anyone. Pick promises not to say anything, but he begs for Kumi to make it at least another 100 of the toilets. It would be a lot of work, but Tom's sure that he can do it if he had the materials. Papik is certain that Kumi will need a helping hand, which is okay because our boy was planning to hire someone eventually. Pick had something else in mind as he recommends forming a contract with a slave. Considering Takumi's talents, Pick Believes he should contract a slave bound to secrecy by magic. They could also serve as his protection and manage the mansion. Takumi is stunned and wonders why he would need to be protected. Papik explains that Kumi has an aptitude for light magic and that means he's considered to be chosen by God, at least that is what is said by the Church of Divine Light. The church scoops up anyone with aptitude for light magic and profits from exploiting their healing magic. Surely they would not just ignore the light magic used by Takumi's toilets. Takumi of course wonders if it's a good idea to make 100 of them, but Papik has an idea. There is a way to get them made and he knows how important it is that no one knows Tumi was behind it. Step 1 is making sure that Tumi gets himself a slave. However, Kumi is against using slaves. Pape can't really understand, but Kumi would rather do it all himself if those are his only options. It's quite the task, so Peck doesn't think it's possible, but they are interrupted when Takumi's guild card begins to glow. It's a message reminding Takumi that he must complete a quest to keep his registration. It is requested that he go to the Adventurers Guild before the deadline, and Takumi realizes that he really does need some extra hands. Papik knows the perfect place as he takes Kumi to the Mullen Company, the city's most trustworthy slave trader. Pick tells him to wait at the company's entrance while he prepares a meeting, but our boy ends up wandering into a garden. There he finds a girl that he can't help but stare at. This girl cold tells him to go home and Kumi is stunned. Thanks for watching my recaps.